What's up guys, it's Taken here, and this is actually the first commentary I did so far, but however, I hope you guys enjoyed and check it out. So, there we go. With the 2.9 update that was released yesterday, there came a new Sin Spec out as well, and the Sins are completely different from now on. So the damage was nerfed a lot, but as well they got some new nice stuns, but I think in general that they got worse than before. So I will give you some suggestions of how to spec your Sin and how to use the combos, because the new Sin is really based on combos and on stacking some skills. Yeah, this is my suggestion for the new Assassin talent tree, and it's pretty different from the old Sin Spec. Well, first of all, there's a pretty big major change in this tree, considering the added Thirst of Slaughter effect, because this effect really affects the overall Sin gameplay. And you can stack this effect up by using special skills, and depending on how high you stack the Thirst of Slaughter effect, your normal skills will get additional abilities, which are really important, I think, and some normal skills will get really powerful by this. But in general, this effect gives per stack 12% more DPS with your Cobra Smite or your Dagger Stab as it was called before. And furthermore, your silence skill and the paralyzing skill will last 0.3 seconds longer for each stack. So basically any skill gets affected by how high your Thirst of Slaughter effect is stacked. And yeah, I'm gonna briefly show you guys how this works and what the skill's additional effects are. Here we go. So Cobra Smite, or as it was called before, Dagger Stab, didn't change that much, so it stayed actually the same skill, but it's gonna deal more damage when hitting after your Thirst of Slaughter effect is stacked up to 3 times, but when you stacked it up to 5 times, you won't even deal a lot more DPS, but you even will stun your target. This skill is new, so it was added and wasn't in the tree before, and it's called Deadly Dreams. This will generally put your target to sleep for 4 seconds, but I really suggest to put 3 of 3 points on Assassin's Contract, so at any time you're using Deadly Dreams, your Thirst of Slaughter effect will get stacked 3 times on yourself, but this only works if you attack out of sneak with this attack. Yeah, but considering this, you guys gotta decide it yourself, since the usual Sin gameplay was that you attack with Shadow Strike at first when you were sneak, because you would stun your target and even cause an armor break with the S.3 Sin effect. So yeah, it's up to you. Cutthroat, or as it's named now, Gruesome Garrote, has the usual known effect, so it's going to immediately break your target's castings, but what is new is the armor break that is caused through having the Thirst of Slaughter effect stacked once on yourself. And this could be pretty useful, because as far as I tried out the new Sin, the damage was nerfed a lot, but when attacking targets with less armor, you may be able to compensate that a little bit. Furthermore, you're gonna heal yourself up by 6% of your maximum HP if you have 3 stacks on yourself, which is kinda like equal to the melee martial mastery skill. And same as old goes for the Sickly Silence skill, just set 3 of 3 points on it if you go PvP, because you'll be able to silence any mana DPS or the healer himself. So the change of poison is pretty awesome, I think. Now you just use the poison once and all your weapons will get the poison buff depending on what or how you set your points here. First skill is Paralyzing Toxic, but I recommend setting 5 further points on Acute Toxic, cause the new Sin talent tree won't deal that much DPS overall, so you really need any DPS you can get. Generally I like this, since you don't need to decide which poison you're gonna use, or even need to poison one weapon with the one and the other weapon with the other poison anymore. Okay, so next change, Smoke Bomb. It's still same skill with the same effect, but with this skill you can now really dominate as a Sin when using it right. You can at first stack it up your Thirst of Slaughter effect 3 times on yourself, then Smoke Bomb, and you will cause an area of effect damage dealing 387% of your attacking power, which is just an intense DPS whether in PvP or PvE. And taking in account that Sin's attacking power goes from 2 to like 5k including PvP or PvE equip, this is a really high damage you will deal. Another nice effect through Smoke Bomb now is that you can stack the Thirst of Slaughter effect 5 times on yourself. When smoke bombing, you will be able to attack for whole 4 seconds while being invisible. And this is really good because when you go versus a DPS, you won't be visible for a time and you can't take any damage during that time. Shadow Blink. Okay, so now Lucid Dreaming Cold. I don't know why they changed every single name of the skills since they basically stayed the same. Anyway, so skill is the old one, but when using it you will stack the Thirst of Slaughter effect even twice on you, and also it gives the usual armor break on your target. Alright, so this skill is one which I really like, because finally Sin is able to do area of effect damage, which before wasn't that much possible. So you guys can enable or disable the Blade of Fury effect at any time, but when you activated it, the Shadow Strike or your Cobra Smite will hit several targets, but you should keep in mind that the higher you skill this, for hitting more targets with one skill, your DPS will be decreased even more. Last and least is a nice temporary buff which will decrease the overall vigor costs of your skills, and on top it is increasing your haste ratio and your critical ratio, which comes pretty close to the blood drain of a DPS warrior, and I think this is really a skill to enable and do maximum DPS. Okay, so I'm going to show you some combos over here. And as I already said, each use of Shadow Strike gives you 1 stack on your Thirst of Slaughter effect. I stack it up 3 times here and now use Gruesome Garrote and check the HP. So you can see I'm getting 1.1k HP or 6% of my maximum HP back. Stack it up again afterwards. I use Cobra Smite after having 5 stacks, and as you can see I deal intense DPS, and when checking the dummy he even gets a debuff, so you can see he's got a stun. Alright, start again stacking, and now I have 3 times the Thirst of Slaughter effect stacked on myself, and check out the area of effect damage I'm dealing to the dummy after using Smoke Bomb. So really remember that this skill is dealing high DPS, which is almost 4 times as high as your attack power is. Okay, so here I'm using the Slaughter Banquet effect, and when this is activated it comes close to the old Impale effect, which lowered your vigor costs as well, so you can really spam your attacks after activating this, and you should check that you're ready to deal high DPS after activating this. Well, now I have 5 stacks on myself, used the Smoke Bomb right away, and from the moment I start attacking now, I have whole 4 seconds to attack while I'm invisible. And as you can see, I started attacking and I'm still invisible, so nobody could see me, but I can still deal damage to anyone. And the last combo here, you can see I'm in sneak condition and I will use the Shadow Dance now, and right away I get 3 stacks of the Thirst of Slaughter effect, which is pretty good I think, since you can really get 3 stacks immediately and don't need to stack it up by using Shadow Strike every time. Okay, so this is my Sin talent tree. I hope I could help you with some combos or how to use the new spec. This was the first commentary, so I hope you guys liked it and enjoyed it. Just put any comments, feedback, or what you liked or didn't like, some suggestions for improvements. Just put it in the comments, send me a message or whatever. I hope I see you guys in the next video. This is Taken here and stay tuned.